Often when we have performances coming up or any other sort of engagements, we might change our habits for that particular day or week in order to prepare us for that upcoming engagement. We might sleep in more, go to bed earlier the night prior, drink less coffee, if any at all, maybe warm up for longer, don't go to work, do all these sorts of things, right? And while on paper that all sounds great, like surely those will only help our vocal potential, I'm sort of skeptical of that actually being the case. And what do I mean? Well, if you are changing your habits for that whole day, just for this 1 hour long recital, for this 15-minute performance, for this 2-hour opera, you are subconsciously raising the stakes of that performance for yourself, and is only going to encourage more anxiety and worry going into it. Now, when I say that, do not think that, oh, well, we should have zero, expectation. We should have zero stakes for this performance, right? Who cares? Like, I'm not saying to be hand wavy about it. But what I am saying is that it is in our best interest if we can lower the stakes of that performance for ourselves, right? I mean, singing is already, quite intensive. The performance of singing is intensive. Opera singing is intensive, right? We already have enough on our plates to negotiate mentally as well as physically. And so if you're going to change your entire day from what is like comfortable and normal for you to something that's completely alien to that, that is only going to encourage more worry, is going to set you up for more failure for that particular performance, right? Instead, try the opposite. How similarly can you make your performance day to your non-performance day? Drink the coffee you normally drink, get the same amount of sleep you do, still go to work, do all these sorts of things, right? And then your only difference that day is, oh, well, in this little scheduling block here, I have a recital, I have a performance, I have a recording session, right? Sort of make it more casual, right? And then that will give you a better mental space for you to go into that performance being prepared and ready to sing, to perform what you have prepared. So then, well, what does that mean for our habits, right? It means that, especially, on days where we don't have an active performing engagement, where we maybe have weeks of an off season, months of an off season, we need to be scientists with our habits. We need to experiment with what works for us, what doesn't work for us as regards our vocal capabilities, right? So for example, I know I can have coffee on performance days. I know that I can sleep only maybe 6 or 7 hours and still have a great performance, right? I know that I can be at work for 5 hours, having not sung, and then go into a practice room and then still sound pretty good. How do I know this? Because on those practice days I'm experimenting. I'm making note. I'm saying, hey, I sound pretty good. What did I do today? Or the opposite. Hey, I'm not sounding very good today. What did I do? I know for me, if I eat, a heavy meal and I go into that performance still sort of feeling kind of full, I know that that's going to hinder my breath support. I know that was going to lower my vocal potential. So now I know it's best for me to sing on an empty stomach, right? But that won't be the same for everyone. And that's where you need to experiment with your habits. You need to find what are the things you can do, you can incorporate in your daily life that do not impede your singing, and to be mindful of what does impede your singing. Those things might change if you have allergies or another sickness, right? Maybe you'll have to warm up longer. Maybe you'll have to sleep in, drink more water, all these sorts of things. But find the habits that qualitatively will not impede your singing, right? And then when you have those performance days, you can be confident that the habits you've already instilled and built up and have incorporated into your lifestyle will not impede your singing. And then it's just a matter from there of just the technical preparation, knowing your music, knowing your blocking, all those sorts of things, etc. So lower the stakes of your performances by keeping your days of performance as similar as possible to those in which you're not performing. And then on those days where you're not performing, experiment with your habits. What are things I can get away with on days where I have to sing and still sound good? What habits might be impeding my singing, and what changes might I need to make?